the Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Finance, Strategic Planning, National Department of Statistics, my good friend Honorable Professor Viliame Gavoka, Commissioner of Police, Kamita, Mr. Luciano Tanoa, Chairperson Nadi Town Council, the Secretary Regularly, Nadi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, President Dr. Ram Raju, BSI's Director Dr. Pravesh Kumar, respected CEOs, members of the Nadi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, invited guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all of you now. Firstly, I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land where we now stand. They are one and all in Betororo, Berlever Aeronobula, and the Amachi Abet. Ono Nandi, Berlever Amachulebu, the Amachi Nandi, Telebu Samayake, and we blow to get over. We acknowledge their leaders, past, present, and emerging. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to join you all once again at this business forum. My special thanks to the Nadi Chamber of Commerce and Industry organizing the events, the support of Pacific Specialist Healthcare and PSS hospitals. Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard from the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance on how the Fiji economy is faring and what we can expect in the upcoming budget. I'm here not just to tell you all that tourism is doing well, but to listen to you and welcome feedback and partnership. But my guys who were writing my speech, I said, don't forget, this is America. This is tourism, so make it a tourism paper. And the good news is that tourism is doing very well, not only in Fiji but globally. A few days ago, Honorable Dr. Viliame Gavoka circulated the interview of the President of the World Bank. You know, he came to Fiji last year. And he spoke about 5 pillars of growth in the world today, or rather going forward. And tourism is one of those 5 pillars globally. Of course, I easily calculated. I said, guys, did you hear that? Because we are the driver that's highlighted by the Honorable Viliame of the Fiji economy today. It contributes to about 40% of GDP. But something that I wish to stress always is that it's 40% is largely from Nandrongan Albusa and Bak. Nandrongan Albusa starts from Puramatapura and Siniapo. Bak starts from Koroluto and Tanoa, and including the Asawas. So these two provinces are driving the tourism industry today and contributing 40%. Honolulu is kicking in, but today Honolulu is 4% of these arrivals. So the point I'm trying to make here is that the potential for tourism, given the global appetite for travel, for Fiji is really, really brilliant, really bright. And we have some of the best products in the world. A product that's, in my reckoning, would stand us in good stead at any time. Today, as highlighted by the Honorable DPM, we are a bit below last year. The first quarter was about 5% below last year, but April has done very well. It was the best April ever in the history of this country. And what is significant here, Honorable friends, is that Fiji is perceived to be too pricey. But it is difficult to understand the phenomenon of all this. And in spite of all this, the tourism in Fiji is growing very, very well. The forward bookings for the hotels up to October are all very, very solid. Fijian environments what the perception of price is believed to be a challenge for Fiji. So there's something here. I think it was shown in the short video that whatever, the Fiji tourism will always thrive. We all recognize the role it plays in the health of the economy, as highlighted by the Honorable Viliame 2024 survey year. But if you factor in the arrival by sea of about some 80,000, we did more than 1 million last year. And everything being equal, we should be seeing the similar numbers in 2025. Yeah, there's some very good indicators out there. The U.S. service to Dallas has helped in many ways, and of course Australia is also holding. New Zealand was a bit of a challenge. New Zealand was down, and I think what the DPM highlighted is a significant factor for New Zealand. Looking ahead, as I indicated, the numbers look good. And you have people in here, hopefully when you get dialogue, I have my colleague from Fiji Hotels in there, Fantastic, who can help with answering some of the questions. But it's all still starting with the tourism industry. Earnings for 2024 was a little below $3 billion. And at the rate we are going, by 2027, we will make $4 billion. And when you say that in tourism, you know that you can make it. I know in every industry you make your forecast, but I think we all agree that when tourism makes a forecast, it mostly on the mark. There are all factors out there that by 2027 we will make $4 billion with arrivals of 1.25 million visitors. Of course, I want to emphasize that very low volume is the cornerstone of what we want to achieve. We have to look at tourism more holistically and measure ourselves across a number of indicators. We are now flying to 25 destinations on an airline, carrying over 2 million passengers. That's an impressive feat, which we will build on as we explore how long-haul destinations such as China and India. If you want to ask about China later, I'll answer that also. But we are in dialogue with the Chinese. We have an ASA, the ASA is the service agreement. And it was, at the time, was to be Beijing, Nadi. But 50 Airways would like to fly into Shanghai. They prefer Shanghai to Beijing. And the Chinese are agreeable to that. It's a matter now of trying to tie down some of the specific and technical things. And those of you who know Chinese people, the Chinese, it can be quite tough negotiating with them. Last month, Fiji Airways officially opened, joined the One World Alliance as a full member. This comes with benefits from accessing a network of 700 airport lounges and priority check-ins and boarding. This is quite significant to be a member of the One World. And it is beautiful. It's wonderful. One of the aircraft is now painted in the One World colors. For a small island nation in a small part of the Pacific, to have an airline flying in One World colors is quite an achievement. And it should be. We should also all celebrate that. Fiji Airports is just partnered with the International Finance Corporation for phase 1 of Nadi Airport. International Airport Infrastructure Development under the master plan. As we speak, there is a group from the Poland over here, primarily dealing with the infrastructure, and they have committed to leveraging some of what they have towards the Fiji airports in terms of the improvements. We are also trying to make the airport experience a pleasant one. If our tourism products are world class, we also want to make sure that the experience at Nadi Airport is also a pleasant one. And you know what it's like, immigration queues and all that. They're implementing measures such as the Advanced Passenger Information API and Passenger Name Record PNR systems, which is essentially allow us to pre-identify passengers and then make potential risks. This is happening all over the world already, got a bit behind here. But I believe the Ministry of Immigration is putting together a budget to put this in place in the next budget. So that will quicken the arrivals at Nadi airports, and also we'll be looking at e-gates, e-gate check-in. We're looking at doubling Fiji Airways Lounge area to improve transit flow as well as a smart gates. These investments will really improve our airport experiences. Just last week, I met with the chair and CEO of Aviation Fiji, and Lisa touched on this. There are at least 53 tourism investment projects we're looking at. They proposed investment of $3.1 billion at different stages. He highlighted the 3 stages: construction, planning, concept, and all that. So 53 projects in tourism are right now on the board. But as you know, one thing they will say is that workers are in the issue. We can't get the workers. And in Cabinet last week, this came up again. Immigration is quite significant in all this. And I think we're getting there. What we need to do really is to create a data on where we need workers. And that will help immigration facilitate the approval that we all want. But with tourism, with all this on the board, on the table, we're looking at 4,000 rooms that are possible, right? That are being working on right now. In terms of what we expect in the budget, the years ahead, while tourism will remain a focus, we will need to address some of the realities that are fundamental to not just tourism, but for people. That will always be a priority. This includes essential infrastructure, as highlighted, and services, such as roads, water, power, and healthcare. And all of this will be delivered under the chronic pressure and global uncertainty we are in. I acknowledge some of these tourism areas here in Nadi need a lot more investment, such as waste management and turnaround, road and water outlets will no lower. As we speak, the EOI for turnaround has closed, and we will be making it easier soon on who gets the contract to work on the turnaround wastewater system. You will know that was set up some years ago for one hotel. Now there's so many hotels in turnaround, we need to grow the capacity, and it's happening as we speak. I haven't had my budget meeting with the Deputy Prime Minister and Mr. Finance, but there are a few areas I would like to share that are in line with Fiji's National Tourism Framework and National Development Plan. We will retain and approve appropriate marketing budget for tourism in Fiji, especially considering new destinations such as Dallas that have opened up. We will work on introducing a new tourism legislation for Fiji and only looks at the hotels for our tourism operators. And we will ensure it's not burdensome by introducing yet another regulatory red tape. We will put more funding into the rewarding project that is global level. There's a $200 million project in the US by the World Bank. It'll take 10 years. My ministry is the implementing agency and it's working very well. It will uplift global level. What India was saying is true. In 10 years' time, the completion of this global level will be very, very different. One of the challenges for us, as you know, is the migration from the rural areas to the urban areas. Tourism will be the only industry that can hold people back in the rural areas or even reverse that trend. We believe in 10 years' time that will be very evident in global level. To Through tourism and other parts of Fiji, we're looking at partnerships for some airport infrastructures. The most critical elements in the development of tourism is the airport. And we're looking at a few going forward in the other islands to take tourism to the remote areas. With our partners, the government will enhance and continue to utilize in niche markets, the sports, medical, cruise, and yacht tourism. Last year, we piloted a micro and small enterprise tourism fund to support more community-based tourism in the creative sector. We will continue with this. One of the challenges in Fiji today is what to do. Activities need to be expanded. The airlines are doing a wonderful job, the hotels are doing a wonderful job, but once they get here, there is a depth of what is there to do. So we are focusing on this all of the global activities in Fiji. We are also looking at introducing sustainable tourism standards as a tool to improve quality and ensure that we as an industry does have economic, social, cultural, and environmental governance. These are some of the areas we will focus on in tourism. But like I mentioned, government will also make investments in other industry too. We want to uplift the other sectors. If tourism is $4 billion, we also want the others to come up. I think we learned from COVID that we were putting all our eggs in one basket and we all suffer. So we need to diversify. Tourism does not and cannot work in isolation. We need strong resource-based sectors such as agriculture to supplement the industry. I want to conclude by acknowledging the role of the private sector in our economic growth. When you do well, we do well, and we truly value your partnership. We're not level